On September 16, 2014, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, faxed to the Hour Town, the Record and Community Newspaper, and the County Seat Newspaper to distribute all persons, if any, requesting copies of the same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They're immediately to my right, and the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
Everyone, please rise to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Padavano.
Before we take the roll,
I believe you said roll call, I'm sorry.
before we take the roll, unfortunately, we've lost another Maywoodian this past week, who was a longtime volunteer of town, Margaret Cookie Paul. She was a longtime resident of Maywood, most recently a resident of Florida, but married to Robert Paul, and together they served many years on the fire police in Maywood. They raised 3 children, Michelle, Melissa, and Maureen. Maureen, who, as many of you know, is a lieutenant on the fire police. Currently, she served 28 years, Cookie served 28 years with Maywood Fire Police, and was really just from what I've been told, I didn't know her personally, but just a wonderful human being and a wonderful volunteer for this town, so I think we should take a moment to remember her and her family.
Mayor Padavano.
Here.
Council members, Mindanao.
Here.
Maroney.
Here.
Eisenberg.
Here.
Nessa.
Here.
Labray.
Here.
Ballerini.
Here.
Borough Attorney Ronald Daria.
Here.
Borough Clerk Jean Pellegro is here. Borough Administrator Roberta Stewart.
Here.
Okay, any items on or off the agenda or additional work session items anybody would like to bring up at this time? Councilman Lindenau?
Nothing. Thank you.
Councilman Maroney?
Okay.
Councilman Eisenberg? Nothing. Councilman Missile?
Nothing at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Bray?
No, Mr.
President Ballerini?
Nothing to answer.
Councilman?
I have a closed session report to get into.
Borough Administrator, anything on?
Possibly a closed session item.
Okay.
I'll just ask you to take note that the agenda was revised to include some additional payments that were added to the list.
Okay, we have no proclamations or presentations. I will now open the meeting to the public. Any members of the public wishing to speak, please come forward. Track. Mr. Track?
You gotta go up and speak. Can I say what I have to say right now?
Sure, come on, open to the public.
I would like my colleagues to come with me.
Just for the record, just please state both of your names.
George J. Trapp, resident of Maywood, 27 years. Okay, this is in regard, may I speak?
Absolutely.
Okay, this is in regard to the situation with the dead trees, okay? And this has disturbed me to no end because you know who I am. I'm a person who does not have something go wrong and walk away from it. Never did that in my life. So, let me go on. When I found out that these dead trees had been affected by some kind of cold, extreme cold, investigated, and we've never had this much cold at one time through a winter ever, in my recollection, I'm on this earth 72 years, and I've never seen cold like this before, okay? And then I got in touch with other people who were weather people, and they said that the Northeast has never been hit with this in this region for that amount of time. So this started a whole ball of wax with me that I have to undo. And what I did was I started to call different towns and look at different new plantings and old plantings, and the result is I came up with some local towns. Maywood, I found 2 trees in a yard that is not something that was planted at the same time this year. It was planted 2 years ago, and they were the same thing. They were hornbeams, and they're dead and dying, all right? So that is something that I started from. Then I contacted somebody in Paramus, and they told me that they raised hornbeams in their Century Road nursery and planted them at the same time I did, and all of them died, okay? Then I talked to somebody in Teaneck, and they told me to ride up Cedar Lane, and they planted some on Cedar Lane, and they're dead and they're dying also. Now this is starting to make something that I'm understanding that the cold weather that we had for this past winter was a destructive thing to this species of tree. And this tree will never be planted in Maywood ever again, okay, because this is a bad lesson that I learned, and my colleagues will say the same thing. And we found out that River Edge had the same species die. Then I have pictures here also. I will show you in a minute. Then somebody told me something about Belleville, and I went down Washington Avenue in Belleville, and their trees are all dead and dying also. And I don't know if anybody goes to the Walmart in Garfield, the new Walmart. Well, we know that the new Walmart in Garfield was put in 4 years ago, and they lined all of their entrance approaches with hornbeams all the way down on both sides, and they're dead and dying, all right? The evidence is all here. Okay? Now, this is something that's not just made up, and we're pointing fingers at somebody, all right, or something. This is something that has happened in this region of Bergen County, and I'm a woods person. You know, I'm a Boy Scout leader, and I've spent about almost 50 years in the woods, and trees to me are something that I've always looked at and understood, and that's the reason why I chose this as my job in this town as the Shade Tree Commissioner. And this kind of hurts me to know that I did something that was wrong, but you know what? All of this is going to be made right at this point, and it's being made right now. We have the last planting, collaborated with our borough administrator, and we've gone out and we found bargains in an area where we could obtain new trees, and she tells me that all of these trees will be replaced by tomorrow, okay? Would you collaborate with me on some of the things that I just said?
Absolutely. Everything you've said are things that we've spoken about and that we have evidence of.
Okay. Now, I'm not picking on somebody right now, okay? But Mr. Eisenberg, you had said to me that your trees were dead when they went in the ground. Yes, they were dead when they went in the ground. I have to tell you this, because I think you said you didn't want to have them put it in until the springtime?
If that was the problem.
Yeah. They died first. I'm not laughing at this, but I just want to let you know, they were above ground. They were not put in the ground. So the frost got to them first with the extreme cold, and there was no insulation of the ground. So yours died first, and they went in the ground dead. Okay? All right, I'm not making a joke out of this. This is a fact, okay? Yes.
Mine went in the spring, and I just want you to know that I am grateful for all the hard work for this county.
Thank you.
In
No,
no way was...
I'm not using you as an example,
Yeah,
please.
No way was my
Okay,
comment
all right,
about the trees.
but anything that was above ground got killed, okay? I know, I checked with a bunch of nurseries and everything else. They lost arborvitae, Alberta spruce. They lost a lot of trees. They lost a lot of money from this winter, all right? We also, before we got started on this thing, I had one tree, and I had it pulled out of the ground by chain, by basket, and examined the roots to this tree. Oh, look, make you look at them again, all right? The top three.
Mr. Trapp, I don't want to interrupt you, but we have a 5-minute time limit.
Almost done, sir.
And you're almost there.
I'm almost done.
Okay.
Okay, I know I'm long-winded.
No, I wouldn't say
All right,
that.
my wife tells me this all the time. She said your son got it from you, so. All right, so what we've done was we pulled, and we found out that when we put these trees in the ground, just like any other tree, we ripped the basket, we ripped all the sides out to give the roots a chance to burst out in the springtime. They all burst out. So that meant that those trees were partially alive, okay, and they were starting to take over. Trees grow in the wintertime. They don't just grow in the summertime. They grow in the wintertime. That's why you see these growth rings in the tree. Some of them are winter, some are summer. Okay, you just heard me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, my 5 minutes.
Name?
Arlene Formisano, Edel Avenue. I'm on the Shade Tree and other committees. And when things started to look bad, I asked Mr. Trapp if I could go research things. And I did call Mr. Grabowski, and he is with the U.S. Department, he is with Rutgers. He teaches down there. And whenever I was looking at anything about the hornbeam, I couldn't find anything. And he gave me keywords which brought me to universities who had departments of horticulture. And I found out that this tree should not be planted in the fall. It's a spring planting. But those trees were in the ground, and they died also. And it's very difficult when you're reading about the hornbeam. It's not native to New Jersey. It's not grown in the pine barrens. And even when you go through catalogs, there's a discrepancy as to which zone it is good for. Some say zone 4, some say in zone 3. And in Chattel's, which they've done a lot of business with, it has zone 2. And I said, where the heck is zone 2? That's all the way up in Maine. So you would have figured that something went awry with this temperature and the snow and the freeze and the ice and everything that caused all of these trees. Now, Mr. Grabowski has said that he hasn't heard anything, but Mr. Trapp is going to be sending him pictures down there, and hopefully he will investigate other towns in this area to see if the viability of this tree is worth planting in this area, to take the risk of having it die after it's been in the ground 5 years, 6 years, or whatever. But certainly it wasn't good for a new planting. And I stand behind Mr. Trapp and all the work that he has done. Thank you.
Thank you, and as does this council stand by the Shade Tree Commission and all the hard work that you both do, and especially you, Mr. Trapp, who has taken a leadership role, and resulting from that is our celebration of our 30th year this year as a tree city. So I want to thank you for everything you do. It has been a horrible winter. I think everybody who has any kind of shrubbery or trees on their property knows that. So we appreciate the work that you've done. I really appreciate that in the last few weeks the buys that you referenced that you have picked up, and they're going to make some beautiful additions to our park. I know there are a couple of magnolias that just went in that are beautiful flowering trees along Wyoming by the park. So thank you very much for everything you do.
Thank you. In bad English, I ain't done yet.
You get them. Anybody else in the public? Okay, close meeting to the public. We have no pending ordinances up for adoption. Do we have a motion for approval of the August 12, 2014 work session minutes and the August 26, 2014 council and closed session minutes?
Make the motion for the approval.
Second.
Roll call.
Lindner?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Labret?
Yes.
Ballerine?
Yes to the first, the August 26th session of that.
presentation of bills and claims. Do you have any public comments on the bills? If not, I will entertain a motion for payment of the bills.
So moved. Second.
Roll.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Nessel?
Yes.
Fedred?
Yes.
Bellerini?
Yes.
Correspondence and reporting, Borough Clerk.
I will just remind everybody, the last day to register to vote is our next meeting day, actually, Tuesday, October 14th, and the Borough Clerk's office will be open from 8:30 until 9 p.m. And we have received correspondence to change to the ballot. I received a copy of the letter that was submitted to the county clerk, and Mr. Ballerini will not be on the ballot, and I'm sorry to hear that. However, he will be replaced with Mr. Ricky DeHere, and so when you get your ballots, that change has been made. And that's all I have.
Borough Administrator.
Mr. Mayor, a couple of things. For one thing, we do have some ongoing work at the pool at the moment. We are doing some reconstruction of various interior items, doors that had to be replaced. The rolling gate, pardon me, at the entrance will be installed. The new door, which we've had trouble with for a long time, is being installed this Thursday. The kind of mini walls that are surrounding the pool, one of the things we're talking about is actually demolishing them before we do anything else. Similar to what we did with the interior of the pool. We don't know what we're going to find, so I'm getting prices on demolishing the walls first and then deciding how we're going to reconstruct them once we see what the underlying footings look like and everything else. So that's going on. And Fall Festival is this coming Sunday, October 5th. The weather forecast looks great. We've been very lucky with sponsors this year, so a number of things are going to be provided for the residents at no cost to them. We've had local sponsors besides our business sponsors, which we let you know about. The MYAA, which is a local sporting organization of our town, has agreed to sponsor some of the new bouncies, I guess, Soccer Fever and Hoops, and they as well are getting sponsors to reimburse them for the sponsorship that they're giving us. So I think it's all very nice that this has become such a great, hometown, typical Maywoodian idea, and this festival in its third year is going to be better than it ever was. And I think that's it, Mayor. Cornstalks going up Thursday. Flowers were put in yesterday. Cornstalks and decoration, courtesy of Malt Products, are being installed Thursday, just before the Fall Festival.
Question. So we're going to take the walls down, and he said we're going to be reconstructing something prior to the pool.
Well, let's just say this, it will be before Memorial Day. I think that there are a couple of different thoughts that we've had about those, little bench walls that we have. I mean, they're really not a wall. It's, low enough that people sit on it. They're all falling apart. The ones by the kiddie pool are not as in bad shape as the other ones. But personally, I feel that just like what we did in the interior of the pool, we're going to demolish those first. See the condition. There's some of the footings that are totally undermined right now, along the far wall by the diving, not, across from whatever you call that, they jump off, or what?
Blocks?
The blocks, thank you. Those are the worst. And then some, they're just not in great shape. So before we construct something on top of it, I'd like to see what's underneath it. So I'm planning on having them demolished first, so that we could see, and then talk about the design of what we're going to do to replace them. They will be replaced, but the design of that is up in the air depending on what we find when we take off the existing blocks. And then just as another note, we've had an issue with the lights at the pool. All the light bulbs have been replaced with LED lights, and a timer so that they no longer stay on 24 hours a day. And interior-wise, because this building was wired rather strangely to begin with, and what we've done now is that the electrician has marked off on the breaker, and most of you who've been there know that all the lights inside are on all the time, and they've been on all the time as long as I've been here. That will no longer happen. The breakers are going to be off that control the lights in the locker room, and unless we rewire it, which may be too big a job, when the staff comes in the morning, they'll throw the breaker back on, and they'll shut it off at night when they leave. So we'll no longer have the interior lights on 24 hours, 7 days a week, 12 months a year. I forgot that.
While we're on LED lights, if we can get a price for the replacement of the lights on the intersection.
They are, those two lights, I'm just waiting for the price. They're being replaced as well.
Say, welcome to Borough of Maywood, that sign is illuminated by, I think, 500 watts.
Right, they're going to be gone. They're replacement fixtures, but I haven't gotten the price yet.
Borough Attorney?
Mr. Mayor, my request could be in closed session today.
Councilman Linda.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple quick things. The DPW just got in a big shipment of leaf bags. They will be available to the residents starting Monday. They cleaned up the park over the last few weeks. They removed that big dirt mound, painted the storage garage, and put a fence around the dumpsters, cleaned up that area, so there's not so much of an eyesore anymore there. It looks pretty good. And looks very good, yeah. And they're getting the park ready and in town ready for the fall. That's all I have tonight, sir. Thank you.
Councilman Ron.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just a couple of quick announcements. There is the townwide garage sale that's happening Saturday, October 18th through $35.
And the 19th, then. Extended to the 19th.
And the 19th.
Yes.
There is also a household hazardous waste recycling going on Sunday, October 19th, between 9 and 2 p.m. That's all I have.
Councilman Eisenberg.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one brief thing. There was a resident that put in a fence without a permit, and they were given a $500 fine for doing something with their permit. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Messar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A couple of items to report on the quarterly insurance safety committee meeting. Maywood is still ranked very high in all of the South Bergen municipal joint insurance fund towns. We are 6th out of 23 in terms of lost time accident frequency on that list, which is very good. I'm glad to report that. At the Board of Education meeting, the Superintendent Jordan and the board expressed their gratitude to the borough for the changes that were done at both the Memorial School and the Maywood Avenue School, and in the enforcement of traffic patterns at both locations by the police. The changes that were done recently were welcomed and thanked. Still an issue with some parents trying to drop off kindergartners at the non-existent crosswalk near the kindergarten door. But that was quickly addressed by the police department, and things are going very well. And one announcement to make, the Maywood Avenue School React Club has worked extremely hard and has come up with the funds to purchase a peace pole that will be formally dedicated at an upcoming ceremony in front of the school. This pole will be placed there, and it is a sign of peace and tolerance. And the ceremony will take place on October 27th at 2 p.m. And it's hoped that many members of the community can attend. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Cabral.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Truck 17 is back in town and back in service. However, the ladder is not in service. It's pending a final inspection. And obviously, in the meantime, we're being covered by mutual aid should we need the ladder. I'd just like to say on behalf of the fire police and the fire department, thank you once again for lowering the flags for one of its members, volunteer members that have passed away. It meant a lot to the members of the fire police especially, and Maureen Cole, Lieutenant Maureen Cole. She was touched and meant a lot. So thank you. That's all I have.
Council President Belvin. Thank you, sir. A couple items. First, thank you to the Maywood Police Department for their participation in the back-to-school night events. As Councilman Messar noted, it's always good to have the officers involved with the safety of the schools and the safety of the children in advance of any problems. We're grateful for that. The Chief did ask me to share a few items with you. Officer Tuchek is back to work. Glad to hear that. I'm sure everybody here is. As you'll recall, he was involved in a car accident. The car has been totaled by the insurance company. We received a settlement check in the amount of $18,200 and change to be applied towards the purchase of a new car. We haven't seen anything on the agenda with regard to that, although the Chief has advised that he's looking into options. We'll hear more about that, I'm sure, in coming weeks. Just noting also that the DEA rotation is complete. The officer that had been on assignment is back with the force, and our new officer is in training and understandably doing well. With regard to probationary officer Patton, he's completing his training and should be ready to be on the road very shortly. And with regard to crossing guards, we have 2 appointments on for tonight. 2 of the 3 new crossing guards we've hired this year have completed training. We do expect a retirement to be formally submitted soon. So I believe we're up to snuff with regard to staffing, and we always do appreciate the good work that they do. The Chief advised that the Central Avenue detail for PSE&G, the work has begun. There has been no announcement with regard to an end date. And finally, from the PD, a reminder that October 2nd is the MPOA Beefsteak fundraiser. As I noted in our last meeting, this event will replace the annual golf outing. This is not a fundraiser for the MPOA. This is a fundraiser run by the MPOA for the benefit of the town. So it's scholarships, and they do fund other programs in town. So for those of you who haven't secured a ticket, I advise you to hurry. Good seats are still available. It's $65 a head. Tickets are available downstairs at the desk or through the website. One other note from the court. We got some numbers in from the court administrator in Paramus with regard to tickets, criminal summonses, and revenue. And we are substantially behind where we were last year. So I just want to make the council aware of that. Through August, we're about $50,000 behind where we were at this time last year in terms of revenue from the court. So something to keep in mind as we close out 2014 and see the expenditure requests coming in. One final note, the planning board will be meeting at their regular time on October 2nd, but a special meeting has been added to the calendar for October the 8th, a Wednesday meeting at 7:30. There will be one hearing on for the Salvation Army and their requested application for use of the former Redeemer building on Maywood Avenue. That's it, sir. Okay. Briefly, I want to thank the DPW as well for their work with cleaning up the park, getting rid of those dirt mounds, and painting system that they had up there, and repainting that building. It's made a world of difference, and closing the dumpster up there in Memorial Park has really substantially changed the visual impact of that area. It looks great, and they deserve a lot of credit for the hard work they did in the last week. The park bench program is going forward. I know the borough administrator is collecting names for anybody wishing to sponsor a park bench. They can contact the borough administrator's office. She's keeping track, and there'll be an order in groups so that we can save on shipping.
The benches will be delivered, the new benches will be delivered. They were supposed to be delivered this week, but they seem to be behind, so I might get them next week.
As I guess Councilman Messar has indicated, the traffic flow around the school seems to be working out. The new stop signs at Grant and Mendez and Parkway and Palmer seem to be working out very well. I know there was a letter to the editor in the R-Town recently about the turnaround signs being painted. I know we've discussed that on several occasions, and we do have grant funding to do that in a substantial way that was discussed during our last work session. So once the check actually gets here, I know that the engineer is going to sit down with the police department and the chief and make sure everybody's on the same page and get that done sooner than later. Hopefully next meeting, October 14th, we will have the public hanging of the mayors. I know the borough historian Betty Fetzer will be here and hopefully give us a little history lesson about all the former mayors as we make sure that all of the mayors' pictures are proudly displayed. Fall Fest is obviously, as Borough Minister said, October 5th. The Maywood Hawks 5K is that morning as well at 9 a.m. Sign-up sheets for that and information for that is available through the Borough website. That's a great program, supports the Maywood Hawks, the school athletics. So come out and turn out for that and stick around for the Fall Fest. It should be very good this year. The Historical Committee is running a bus tour on October 26th in town. And Betty Fetzer does a fantastic job lecturing about the little nuances of our town on a wonderful bus ride through the town. So I encourage everybody to sign up for that if you're interested. I also want to thank the Board of Ed. They made a substantial contribution to the portion of or the amount of money that was necessary to pave the Fairmount Avenue parking lot. So it was very much appreciated. Obviously, they use what the teachers and parents use that lot throughout the week often. So it was very much appreciated that they contributed to the paving of that lot. And then I think that's all I have. We have no resignations on. There are two appointments. Thomas Stavola and Karen Stavola as substitute crossing guards at an hourly rate of $12.50 per hour for a term expiring on December 31st, 2014. Appointment subject to completion of all requirements set forth by the borough. Is there a motion for the appointment?
Yes, make a motion.
Second. Roll call.
Lindner?
Yes.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Tabrett?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes. We have one item on for council approval from the Rotary Society Our Lady Queen of Peace Church, permission to hold an on-premises 50/50 raffle at Our Lady Queen of Peace Church on Saturday, November 1, 2014, from 6 p.m. through 8 p.m. Is there a motion for the approval?
Motion for approval.
Second. Roll call.
Lindner?
Yes.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Tabrett?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes. Resolution pledge.
Resolution 13714, resolution authorizing approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for Jersey Avenue and Parkway. Resolution 13814, resolution requesting approval of items of revenue and appropriations in accordance to NJSA 484-87. Resolution 13914, a resolution authorizing the municipality of Maywood to execute an agreement with the County of Bergen to supersede the cooperative agreement dated July 1, 2000, and amendments thereto, establishing the Community Development Program. Resolution 14014, a resolution ratifying and confirming the purchase of computer software and training equipment to the Maywood Police Department with funds from the DEA account. Resolution 14114, resolution authorizing and amending Section 312-18 of Chapter 312 of the Code of the Borough of Maywood regarding proposed bus stop changes. Resolution 14214, resolution authorizing change order number 2 for the East Hunter Avenue and Spring Valley Road project. Resolution 14314, a resolution ratifying and confirming the replacement of the retaining wall at Memorial Park. Resolution 14414, resolution awarding professional services contract to Mitchell Humphrey & Co. for providing software products and maintenance support in the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey.
Is there a motion for adoption of resolution?
Move for the adoption.
Second. Roll call.
Lindner?
Yes.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Tabrett?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes. Introduction of ordinance.
Ordinance 1314, an ordinance amending Section 169.1 of Chapter 169 and Section 179.10 of Chapter 179 and Chapter 330-20 of Chapter 330 of the Code of the Borough of Maywood relating to fees.
Is there a motion for the introduction of the ordinance? Move the introduction.
Second.
Vote.
Lindner?
Yes.
Maroney?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Labray?
Yes.
Ballerini?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Maywood that ordinance 1314 be passed on first reading, and that said ordinance be further considered for final passage, and a meeting of the mayor and council to be held on October 14, 2014, at 7:30 p.m. at the Borough Hall, 15 Park Avenue, Maywood, New Jersey, at which time and place all persons interested therein will be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. The Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same according to law.
Is there any new business? The old business? Miscellaneous business? 2014 being 120th anniversary of the Borough of Maywood, in case you haven't heard. We're celebrating the history of Maywood. Many events, as I indicated, the Borough Historian will be here next meeting, and she will also be leading a bus tour throughout the town on August 26th. Bit of trivia of the day. The last trolley to run through Maywood ran through Maywood on August 5th, 1938, when it was replaced the next day by the public service bus line.
Wow.
And the town motto, anybody didn't know that we had a motto, because I did not, is Great Oaks, picking up on the tree theme. Great oaks from
Let's
little
keep 'em.
acorns grow.
Let's keep them.
There you go. That is all. Is there a motion to go into closed session? I believe we have a couple of closed matters.
It's not as litigation.
So moved. Roll call.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Barone?
Yes.
Eisenberg?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Labray?
Yes.
Ballerini? Ballerini?
Yes.
Be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood pursuant to provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, Mayor and Council meet in closed session to discuss the following subject matters: litigation and personnel. Be it resolved as precisely to be determined at the time of discussion conducted in said closed session and be disclosed to the public upon being take final action on, provided this closed shall not violate the attorney-client privilege or terms of invasion of privacy. Be it resolved the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood do not intend to return open session after this meeting, but reserve the right to do so.
Okay. We are in closed session. Thank you for coming.